there's not a large space for openly gay men doing stand-up. I think there's a big blind spot.
What's funny is I had that thought. I was like, I feel like there are a lot of you, and there just aren't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, oh no, and then I'm like, what's the list?
I know.
Out here, it's like Justin Martindale,
Tim Dillon,
right? Tim,
Joel Kim Booster.
Yeah.
I always put it this way. I'm like, because no sad song for me, but I think for a long time too, it's weird to be working in industry when you say there is no gay man stand up who's a household name.
Yeah.
You know,
in 2024. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little like, weird.
It is.
So because you have, I mean, even like Eddie Izzard, it was so, I mean, first of all, an amazing comic. Yeah. And secondly, like how amazing is she to be able to be putting herself out there at such an early time? I mean, like, I can't even think of all the things, and not
explaining it.
No,
that was the thing with like Eddie Izzard would just go like, I dress like this. Don't worry about it.
Right.
You like? Can you deal with it? Okay. I got great jokes.
Yeah. I would look to her. I would look to Mario Cantone.
Yeah.
You know, I always explain to people like, because I'm like, I'm not in no way, like I'm not saying there weren't gay comics. There certainly were. But you have to remember too, like back in my day, like what was accessible to me.
Okay, well that's the watching you, the thought I had was like how central, because Tim doesn't really talk about being gay in a stand-up.
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Yeah.
How central did you make the decision to centralize it? And because I remember talking to a young gay comic and I was like, you might want to decide if you're a comic or a gay comic, because it would it have felt dishonest to not centralize it, or could you be yourself to your own you said like you have a gay accent, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great joke about like he has a gay accent. Every language has a gay accent when he does a voice.
My favorite is the word for gay in Italian is just gay with an Italian accent. It's just guy.
You'll watch it. But was it conscious, or was it just like you couldn't, it would have felt dishonest to not?
Well, I think like, I hate that answer. Everyone's experience is different, but I think that was the start.
Are you on a journey? Go ahead.
I'm on a journey. This is my brand. We're vibing. I think it's a couple things. God, how do I say this without sounding like woe is me? One of the biggest,
come to the right place. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I ran into real early on is just exactly what you said. I was being told to decide by straight people who I was going to be before I had a chance to discover it. So I think the unfair part about being queer and doing stand-up in a lot, which is predominantly straight spaces, which by the way, I had a great experience in those spaces. I found that comics, both straight men and women, were very open to whatever's happening on stage so long as they see you work hard and the jokes are there. But I will say I ran up real quick with, I found it really difficult to be myself, talk about my experiences, and then how do I also not pigeonhole myself? And I've given that up. But there was a long time where the gatekeepers, the bookers, the late night, the Robbies, all of them, comics, whoever, they are so quick to tell you when you're gay, what's too much. What's too much. I did a late night show they never aired because the word that came back was, we'd like you to come back and do it again because it was just too gay. So even from the beginning, it's like, well, what's too straight? So it sucks
Nick
because
DiPaolo. I'm kidding.
Yes, but it's almost so straight it's gay.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of combat that for a long time.
Yeah.
Not being taken seriously, and in a way, I'm working sometimes 3 times as hard because I have to talk about my life. I have to make it acceptable for an audience that doesn't know who I am every single night, bridge that gap, have to come out of the closet every night, and I have to prove that I know how to write jokes, and I have to prove that I can hang with the other I mean, there was a lot going on. So I think now I'm at a point where it's cool because it's like, okay, I finally sell tickets, so like I don't have to explain anything, and I can just, and also too, like, young comics tend to talk about the sort of who I am, what I look like, the sort of like documentary style comedy. Now I can just talk about whatever, in Ubers, who gives a shit? But I think for a long time it was that. And I think a lot of stuff I got because I was gay and there was so few gay people doing stand-up, and a lot of stuff I didn't get because I'm gay.
Right.
And if you're doing, because I guess I see you do like clips on a normal night at the Cellars.
But I didn't realize how gay my older brother was. Why is my mom making so many gay kids? Can you imagine her gynecologist appointment just like, all right, Sherry, let's have a look in here and everybody touch them!
Do you kind of have to gird yourself for like, maybe this is a little tight, heterosexually tight audience? Like they're not gonna, because you always you're fun to watch. You're
like
fun.
a cartoon character.
Thank you. But you're very fun. And so it is because you're like a cartoon character. It's like I watch, I'm like, man, fuck, if I was this charismatic, that would be stand-up would be so much easier.
Well, some of it's gay and some of it's just being Italian. I can't quite tell the difference.
No, I'm sure it's very confusing. You have a cookbook coming out as well.
Do
called Your Pasta Sucks, I believe. Great. Is that a pain, or is it just like it's all just stand up? And
now it's just stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the benefit of doing stand up for so long. I'm obviously this, where it goes from now I can kind of just talk about anything because I have my rhythm and I have my way of writing jokes and I have my process. Like I did in my special, I did 15 minutes just on my hair transplants.
Yeah.
Don't they look real? I mean, it is real, but it's like a chia pet. It's like chia. Like
I would not have been at that point 5 years before that.
Well, that's what it was interesting. It was like, I don't know if that was your crowd.
It was.
Okay, but they still seemed. How is it on a Tuesday?
Good.
Are they, meaning like people seem to buy in?
Right.
Whenever obviously you're using the best clips, but there seems to just be like automatic buy-in.
Yeah.
I hear straight men. I hear like everybody's just like, yeah, I'll buy into this. Did you? Was that hard to get?
No. I think a couple of things. One, I mean, now it's like
it seems like the audience is your friend.
Yeah,
it seems like
I try to approach it that way, but I also, some of the stuff I get, there's very few jokes that I won't work out at the Cellar that I'm like, I'll just save this for like my own gigs. But I mean, like 0.3%. Like usually I test for months at the Comedy Cellar in front of crowds that don't know me before I bring it on the road, because I want to really make sure that it works. You know, but I would say. It's being gay on a lineup of predominantly straight people. Although I will be honest, the Cellar is really good at like diversifying. Yeah. There's nights where there's like 2 straight people, and then the rest of us just fagging out. And, but I would say being gay, the audience does perk up a bit. I mean, it does change the tone a little bit because, there's people like, but we're also at a time now where it's like being gay is not that taboo. Yeah. Really. We're in New York City. We're in the Village. We're in a basement. It's 2:00. I mean, come on now. Like you should expect to see a gay person on stage. But I mean, a lot of the material I write when you're working out these rooms, you do have to, I can't tell if it's subconscious or it was conscious, but there is a kind of bridging the gap. I have to connect with these people. So how do I tonally tell these jokes in a way that 1, they're not going to run away, and 2, they can relate to, whether that was when I was talking about dating or whatever else. But I mean, especially when I talk about stuff from Call of Duty, when I go into all that stuff, I mean, just like straight people.
I didn't know gay people
up.
Played video games.
Oh my God. Are you joking?
Fortnite
You're the every
first
night.
Openly gay.
I won't even shoot another Ariana Grande on the battlefield because I know they're gay.
Hey, did you like that? Did you like that? Yeah, did you like it though? You want more? Don't want to work? Would rather watch videos of me grab-assing with people? First of all, go up here to subscribe, and then go up here to watch more clips. This is like when the weatherman says there's a high pressure system coming in.